Everyone thinks Avengers Doomsday is about heroes coming together. But what if the real movie is about why they can't? Because before the Avengers save reality, they're going to fight each other first. When Marvel builds an Avengers movie, they're not just selling spectacle, they're selling moments. First meetings, wrong assumptions, tension, chaos. And Doomsday is designed around one idea. The multiverse breaks trust before it breaks worlds. By the end of this video, you'll see why nearly every major fight in this movie exists on purpose, and how Doctor Doom turns confusion into his greatest advantage. Doctor Doom doesn't start wars, he times them. Here's the key thing. People miss about Doctor Doom. He doesn't rush in throwing punches, he waits, multiple universes collapsing. Heroes meeting variants. No shared context, no shared rules. That environment is already unstable. Doom just steps into it. So when heroes clash, it doesn't feel forced. It feels inevitable. And the first real proof of that comes from the one Avenger who understands responsibility better than anyone else. Thor versus Doom. Responsibility versus control. Thor doesn't confront Doom out of anger. He confronts him because he believes it's his duty. Thor has lost worlds. He's failed to protect what mattered most. So when Doom shows up manipulating reality itself, Thor reacts the only way a god protector would. This fight isn't about who hits harder, it's about raw divinity versus engineered superiority. Thor brings overwhelming power. Doom brings preparation, traps, and patience. And that balance matters. Because Doom doesn't need to defeat Thor. He just needs to prove that strength alone won't stop what's coming. That lesson ripples through the entire movie. Spider-Man versus Wolverine. When instincts collide. Now drop that same chaos into a ground-level perspective. Smoke, screaming. An incursion tearing a city apart. Wolverine sees a masked figure moving too fast and assumes the worst. Spider-Man sees a situation where civilians come first. That difference defines the fight. Logan goes lethal. Immediately, Peter holds back. Until he can't. The moment adamantium claws come into play, Spider-Man stops pulling punches. And that's when the fight becomes dangerous. Not because either of them is evil, but because neither has enough information. This is Doomsday in a nutshell. Good people reacting too fast in a broken reality. Brains enter the battlefield. Reed Richards versus Nightcrawler. When power clashes don't solve the problem, intellect steps in. Nightcrawler sees a device destabilizing reality and assumes it's the cause. Reed Richards sees a solution that hasn't finished calculating yet. At first, Reed loses badly. Teleportation beats improvisation. But Reed doesn't panic. He studies. The moment he recognizes a pattern in Nightcrawler's movement, the fight flips not through strength, through prediction. This isn't just a cool matchup, it's Marvel. Establishing Reed as more than a scientist, he's a strategist in a war that hasn't fully started yet. Gambit versus Shang-Chi. Style versus discipline. Then comes the most visually creative clash in the film. Gambit fights like chaos. Incarnate. Every move is a gamble. Every attack is an explosion waiting to happen. Shang-Chi fights with discipline and control. Charged cards fly. The 10 rings intercept, redirect, and reshape momentum midair. This fight isn't about dominance, it's about adaptability. And narratively, it serves a larger purpose, showing that even the most lethal fighters have limits. Limits Doom is fully aware of. When power fails, the mind breaks. Eventually, something snaps. Not physically, psychologically. The void isn't a villain you punch. It's fear, trauma, and isolation given form. And that's why only one character can truly stop it. Professor X. This battle doesn't level cities. It dismantles mental defenses. Inside the mindscape, raw power means nothing. Control, empathy, and dominance of thought mean everything. When that inner light finally breaks through, that's when the MCU unleashes the Sentry everyone's been waiting for, not as a weapon, but as a choice. Leadership collides. Captain America versus Cyclops. As chaos spreads, leadership is questioned. Cyclops believes in decisive action. Captain America believes in restraint. Two leaders shaped by different wars. When Steve Rogers and Sam Wilson stand together, the message is clear. This isn't about replacing leadership. It's about redefining it. The fight doesn't last long. It doesn't need to. Its purpose is to ask one question: who should lead when the rules no longer exist? God Loki versus Doom. story versus fate. And finally, the fight that changes everything. Loki doesn't attack Doom with force. He attacks him with narrative illusions. Fear fragments of Doom's past twisted into reflection. This fight doesn't tell you whether Doom is right or wrong. It splits the audience. Because Loki realizes something terrifying. Doom can be delayed, but not defeated yet. So Loki does what a god of stories does best. He plants the next chapter. Avengers Doomsday isn't about heroes assembling. It's about collisions before unity, failure before strategy, and Doom standing at the center letting it all happen. Now I want to know, which fight are you waiting for the most? And which hero do you think Doom is counting on to fail? Drop your answer in the comments. Subscribe for more deep dives that go beyond surface level hype, because the multiverse isn't collapsing by accident. And neither is this story.